Hi, I'm Nathan with the ebookreader.com. For this video, I'm going to give you guys a comparison review between the Onyx Boox T68 here on the left and the Illumina HD here on the right. So these devices are very similar and very different at the same time. So they both run Android. The Icarus here on the right runs Android 4.2 and the one on the left, Boox, it runs Android 4.0. So they both have the ability to install apps. So let's just go ahead and compare some of the features on these devices. Obviously the Boox here on the left, it has a bigger screen. It has a 6.8 inch e-ink screen, and the Illumina HD has a 6 inch e-ink screen, which is the more common size. And then the Boox, it has this power wheel down here, this navigation wheel you can use to navigate. Like on the screen you can see the little cursor move. You can use this entirely for navigation if you want, and it's got the selector right there. The Illumina HD, it does not have any navigation wheel like that. It does have page buttons here on each side of the screen. There's the physical page buttons, and then you've got a back button and then a refresh button on this side, which will refresh the screen, or if you hold it, it turns the front light on and off. The Boox has a similar layout. You've got page buttons on each side of the screen as well, or you just have the page buttons on this side of the screen. This side of the screen has the back and the menu button, so you do have the buttons on both sides. On this one also functions the refresh button if you hold it down, and then this button turns the light on and off if you want the light on and off. So let's talk about the light really quick. Okay, so now I got the lights off and everything set with the front lights. They're both set to maximum setting. As you can see, there's quite a difference in the color tone between them. The T68 on the left, and in person, has like a lot more of a yellow tone than the Icarus XL here on the left, or on the right. The Icarus has more of a whiter, sort of slightly-ish blue tone, but it's more white. So like I said, both these are maxed out here. When you go down to the lowest setting, the Illumina HD definitely has a dimmer front light. So this is the lowest setting on the Boox, and the lowest setting obviously on the Illumina HD is a lot lower. You can barely even tell that it's on. Has more of a softer glow. Like I said, it's just the tone's a little bit whiter than it is on the Boox. The Boox definitely has the brighter front light. Where the Boox definitely has another advantage here is, if you look at really closely at the screen, the Boox is super even. It's probably one of the most even front lights I've seen. It's like on par with the Kindle Paperwhite 2, and I mean, there's like really no shadowing effects. I mean, if you look really closely, I guess maybe it's a little bit darker here than it is like up there, but I mean, as far as front lights go, it's really even. On the Illumina HD, at the bottom of the screen, you can see more of a shadowing effect. Some apps have this bar at the bottom, you can't tell as much, but there is more of a shadowing effect at the bottom. It's not quite as even as the Boox T68 front light. Okay, so as far as the reading experience goes, it just basically depends on which apps you have installed. So each device can install Android apps, so you're basically unlimited with the amount of reading apps you can install. The main difference between these two devices is the one on the left here, the T68, comes with Google Play on board, so you can just download apps from Google Play. You got the Play Store right there, you got the Play Books, you can get Google apps. Whereas the Illumina HD, it doesn't support Google Play, so you have to get your apps through other means. So you can use like different app stores, like I have the Amazon App Store on here. You can use like one mobile, or you can use this trick to like just get the apps from the Play Store using the browser and a third-party service, which is outlined on my blog. So there's some different ways to get apps on the Illumina HD, whereas the Icarus, it's just a lot easier to get apps using the Play Store. So that's the definite advantage with the Boox, is just the ability to easily get apps. So as far as the software is concerned, but while we're talking about software, one thing I noticed about while reviewing the Illumina HD is the software just seems to run a little bit smoother. I haven't had as much issues with crashing as I have on the Boox. The Boox, like I said in the Kindle review, it seems to crash more when using the Kindle device. So now suddenly the Kindle device isn't responding on the Illumina HD because I said it was working better, but now it's not going to work. So that's just sort of the thing with Android. Sometimes the devices aren't meant for these, so they don't work as well as they should. I don't know, I've never had any problems with the Illumina HD crashing before. That's actually a first as far as the apps crashing. Okay, so here with the Boox, it has a couple other advantages too. It's like with the software, the hardware, it's got the Bluetooth support, and it has audio support. So like with this Kindle app, you can listen to audiobooks. Where the Illumina HD, it doesn't have any audio support. It doesn't have any support for audio whatsoever. It doesn't have headphone jack, doesn't have Bluetooth, so you can't listen to ebook or listen to audiobooks or music at all with that device. This device has an advantage with being able to use the page buttons for page turnings, though I noticed it kind of makes more of a sliding effect, it seems to, when you're using the page buttons. If you set it up in settings to use the page buttons as volume buttons, so on the T68 that doesn't work for whatever reason. You can't use the actual page buttons, but you can use the wheel down here to turn pages on the Kindle app and most reading apps. So there's just sort of a difference in the configuration there. So as you can see, both turn pages about the same speed as far as the Kindle app goes. Seems a little faster on the Illumina. It doesn't quite have as much of a sliding effect. Maybe it's just because the screen's smaller, you don't notice as much. So as far as all the other Kindle app features work on both of them, as far as the dictionary and notes and highlights and all that. So that basically goes for the other apps as well, the reading apps. Like the Kobo app works well on both of these devices. The Nook app works on the Illumina HD, but it doesn't work on the books. It crashes a lot on the. It just crashes immediately on the books and won't even let you sign in, basically. So like as far as Comixology goes, both apps support Comixology app, and I'm surprised at how well this app works with e-ink. So both devices, as far as that goes, can use the Comixology app for comics. I'll just do kind of a quick speed test between the two here. As you can see, a lot of times the renders differently on the links for whatever reason. The links just shut down because it doesn't like doing things. Sometimes it just crashes for like no apparent reason. So like I said, the Illumina HD, I've had a lot less problems with it crashing, even though it was acting up with the Kindle app not responding there a while ago. I actually have had a lot less problems with it crashing with Android apps and restarting and stuff like that. So yeah, the links, I don't know what its deal is. It does tend to have a lot of more bugs associated with the operating system than the Illumina HD does. Okay, so now the Lynx is booted back up. It's gone to the Nova home screen because I have the Nova launcher set up just because I don't really like the typical home screen. You can set up Nova launcher on the Icarus Illumina HD as well. I have not set it up yet though, so I got it more customized over here with the white background, and I got the app set up just so they lay out a little bit better than they do on the Icarus here, just because I haven't set up Nova yet. Okay, so like the regular default home screens are very similar between these two devices. You got the recently read, you got these little deals you can scroll through, so I mean that's basically almost identical. And you got your little app icons down here. With this device you can customize which icons you have down here, all except the apps button. With this one it's you're just stuck with these right here, and like I said, you can install Nova Launcher if you want a different layout, and then you got your apps drawer over here. So I mean they're both very similar with the Android operating system, and they both can install a lot of e-reading apps. Just basically comes down to if you want a 6.8 inch device, or you want a 6-inch device, or you want the extras with the books with the audio support and the Bluetooth and the Google Play books on board, or the Google Play Store on board. Whereas this one you got to be a little bit more. It takes a little bit more work setting it up with the side loading apps and all, but it has a little bit more stable software as far as my testing has revealed. Basically, the T68, it's built-in apps. It's got a lot of more reading apps built in, and they do have more features. This just uses the basic Adobe Reader app for ebook, for regular ebooks, so it doesn't have quite as many features as the Onyx app. Like this one, it has text-to-speech. You've just got more features all around than the default reading app on the Icarus HD, which just uses a regular Adobe Reader. So a couple of differences with the built-in reading app. For instance, you got a lot more features with the Boox T68. You've got the refresh settings. You got different apps. There's a lot different built-in apps. Whereas this one, it just uses the Adobe Reader app, and you've got a lot less settings in here. You've got some font size, and you've got some font types, which I got a really weird one set right now. So we can go to something a little bit more normal with Droid Serif. There we go, and then we can get more comparable between these two. But yeah, they both have the landscape mode. You can rotate the landscape. Like I said, the Boox, it has more settings. You got the text to speech, and you've got more layout settings, and you've got just more ways to control like what ebook apps you want to use. You got the display footers. But the bottom line is the built-in app does have a lot more features on the Boox. But the both devices can install other reading apps, so it just basically depends what app you want to use. Moon Plus Reader is a really good app for both of these, and both apps, or both of them, are going to be pretty similar when you use that app. So, okay, one thing I wanted to show is a difference with the way the Illumina HD handles scrolling. So the Boox, it has this quality mode and performance first mode. It's called A2 up there. Let me go ahead and load up a web page on this one real quick. Okay, so the one thing I wanted to show with the And this is sort of like across the system. It's not just with the web browser. So when you have quality first enabled with the books, you have quality first and performance first. So with quality, when you scroll, it does like the constant flashing for the refresh. With the Illumina HD, what I really like how the system works, how they got this incorporated, the partial refresh automatically kicks in when you scroll, so you can see that it's a lot smoother when you're scrolling because it's not doing the refreshing of the e-ink constantly. It just goes in the partial refresh mode. So the books, it does have that setting too, but you have to manually enter it by going to performance first, and then you can sort of get the same sort of scrolling without the constant flashing. But it's still smoother on the Illumina HD. I really like how the software developers incorporated that into it, because that's really an important thing with e-ink. With this one, you just have to turn it on and off, toggle it on and off. Or with the books, it automatically kicks in with pretty much like any menu system or anything where you involve scrolling. So it does make that more smooth, that's no question. Alright, like I said, these devices both run Android. The Illumina HD, it runs Jelly Bean, as you can see right there by the icon, and the books, it runs Ice Cream Sandwich. So the Icarus Illumina HD does have a newer version of Android on there. You got Android 4.2, whereas the books, it has 4.0. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review right here. Check out the ebookreader.com. I'll have a written review explaining in more detail the similarities and differences between these two units. I also have written reviews for each of them if you wanted to check those out, and videos as well. So have a good day, and thank you for watching.